Hi Chelsea fans, Chels Daft here with another video. First of two videos today. First will be a news update. Second, a transfer rumour update. And there's plenty to feature in both videos. In this video, talking to Kai Havertz, Emerson, Christian Pulisic, N'Golo Kante and Jorginho. Make sure you stay tuned. Subscribe, like the video and let's get cracking. So first up, Kai Havertz has been talking while away on the international break with the national team and talking to reporters. Now there's one thing about the international break, you get all sorts of stories, all sorts of rumours and all sorts of speculation that comes about, and it just does my head in. It happens all the time whenever there's an international break. Some sort of story is broken by a foreign news agency or foreign press, and it's just so annoying. But one of the good stories that's come out is Kai Havertz, and he's been saying there's no bad or average players in the Premier League. As we know, Havertz has been heavily involved since he joined the club, got his hat-trick in the Carabao Cup against Barnsley, been played in different positions by Frank Lampard. Against Crystal Palace, he was finally played as a number 10, and we have seen signs of exactly what he can do and what he can produce in a Chelsea shirt. Speaking of the difference between the Premier League and the Bundesliga, Havertz said this: the intensity in the duels and the runs is much higher. It's a completely different league and the games are very exhausting. The Bundesliga isn't worse, but I've noticed differences. It seems to me like there aren't any average or bad players here. Everybody is at a very high level. And that's interesting to hear, bearing in mind the teams that we've already played, which says a lot for the Premier League. So to Emerson, who has spoken out while away with the Italian national side, along with Jorginho, he's been asked of the situation regarding his future and how he's doing at the moment. Obviously, we all thought he'll get a move away before the end of the transfer window. Never happened. But he's been talking, and he said this: when I arrive here, I change my head. I feel important and I feel part of the group. At Chelsea, things are not going as I wish in this part of the season. I just have to work. And he's yet to feature for Chelsea in the Premier League. And as we've said numerous times on the channel with other videos posted, we've got a lopsided situation regarding the left back position because 3 into 1 doesn't go. So to someone we're hoping is back against Southampton at the weekend, and that's Christian Pulisic, and he's been talking that he believes this team is capable of winning titles. He said this: Chelsea's a club with a lot of history that always wants to compete and win titles. Our goal is to finish the highest standard as possible in the Premier League and win every trophy available. We've got a great group of guys, we're going to compete and we're hungry to win titles. Last year was more of a transition year where obviously we couldn't sign any new players, but we still had some guys who'd been there. What was great about last year is a lot of the young players got a lot of experience. This year there's definitely a boosted confidence. We've got an edge, we're ready, we want to compete and we want to win titles. It will be interesting to see just how Chelsea click when Frank Lampard gets what we all believe will be his dream starting 11, with the likes of Christian Pulisic on one side, Hakim Ziyech on the other side, maybe Timo up front with Kai Havertz, Mount or Abraham. Having those two wingers available and fit to play from the start, we'll see Chelsea probably naturally evolve into a 4-2-3-1. And it'd be interesting to see just how effective Christian Pulisic could be, heavily involved as one of the main men in the team this season and beyond. So I just wanted to talk about the situation with N'Golo Kante, as featured here yesterday, with claims that there was a rift between Kante and Frank Lampard. Now, we've seen numerous reports, and there'll be another one along shortly, regarding N'Golo Kante's future, and we've seen numerous times in the past him supposedly talking up a dream move to Real Madrid, which has surfaced once again. The press and the media are always trying to claim there's a situation with Kante where he feels he's done enough in England and he wants to go for a new challenge and he wants to leave. We've never heard anything from the player himself. Frank Lampard has always stood by him, has always backed him, and has always said he remains an integral part of his team. So to this concocted story that's come from La Parisienne, again one of these foreign media sources while away with the international teams, stating that there's been a bit of a rift between Kante and Frank Lampard because N'Golo Kante had reportedly asked for a day off of training to attend his close friend's wedding, which was rejected by Frank Lampard. Chelsea have refuted any claims of a rift between the two, and I do find it extremely hard and difficult to imagine. So all I'd say is ignore anything you read about N'Golo Kante and Lampard falling out. So as I was saying about Kante, and the Real Madrid dream has resurfaced again and again. This has come from La Parisienne over in France, stating that it's his dream to go and play for Real Madrid and, you know, new challenge. It's nonsense, absolute nonsense. It might be a long-term dream, fair enough, but Chelsea will have no intention of getting rid of N'Golo Kante, because to challenge you need your best players fit and you need to keep hold of them, basically. So to other news, as you can see here, with reports that Chelsea could be offering Jorginho a brand new contract. Now again, this has come from a foreign media source over in Italy, area Napoli, who was stating that he could be in talks. Now I'm finding that a little bit difficult to believe, if I'm honest, based on the situation at the end of last season and the beginning of this season. Now, with the amount of games and the fact that players are not properly fit because they've had no pre-season, Jorginho's been heavily involved, as with everybody. We've seen the player of the season, Mateo Kovacic, being rotated. Jorginho's been playing, Kante's been playing. The three of them have been rotating in and out. End of last season, or to the games that were played to get the season done, remember, Jorginho wasn't picked. He was on the bench and sat there for game after game with no involvement whatsoever. And it could be that that's because his agent was talking up a move during the lockdown and all this nonsense. Jorginho was called upon when we needed him due to an injury. We had to bring him on, we had no other choice. And to be fair to him, he came on and played well. And he's done well in parts this season. But is it too early to even think of a new contract? Bearing in mind, he was linked with a move away before the end of the window. And let's face it, before Sarri was sacked, it was almost as if he'd go and sign for Juve. So I'm not too sure that Jorginho and a new contract is probably a focus of attention at the minute. Bearing in mind, he's got about 3 years left on his deal. I think that he needs to do a lot more for me if he's going to get a new deal, and we have to wait and see what the situation will be at the end of the season. So guys, that's it from me today, Tuesday the 13th of October, for your Chelsea news update. Stay tuned in an hour's time for the second video coming out, Chelsea transfer news update. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button for me, then subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss my videos come out, which is normally daily. I had a bit of a technical problem yesterday, which hopefully has been resolved. But thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and make sure you check out the additional content featured here on my channel. Have a look around, hopefully you like it and you like what you see, and then stay tuned for an hour's time for a Chelsea transfer news update. Thank you again for watching. Have a good evening. See you next time.